Our aim is the protection of wildlife within a certain area by virtue of a simple tactic: early detection, quick reaction.
Anti-poaching in the Limpopo National Park, mainly what makes it different is the type of terrain we work in, which is very thick Mopane fields, and also the vast areas that is completely no movement of people or roads or anything. So we are very sparsely spread out, and yeah, mobility is very difficult. That's why we do have the helicopter to help out with that. And then most of the work has to be done on foot, which can't be helped out with vehicles and that type of work. It's a corridor that leads to Kruger National Park, also for the rhino poaching and the elephant poaching. So we are like a stopper group for the Kruger National Park, but we also have our own animals to look after and to protect on our side as well.
A number of years ago we reviewed our anti-poaching strategy due to the challenges of rhino and elephant poaching. Our first step was to set up an intensive protection zone where we focused 80% of our resources in 20% of the area. That 20% of the area was where the wildlife was, where the main product was, and where the future potential for tourism was most likely. Since then we've evolved. We've got Dyke Advisory Group on board as technical support and advisors to us. We've created a remote field operations base, put in digital radio network to fully connect the park. We've got a helicopter on board for quick reaction and for monitoring. It's supported by a Savannah aeroplane that flies morning flights looking for smoke and other potential poaching signs. And that's all coordinated from a forward operating base. It's still under the same command of the Mozambican government through the field ranger structures, but with stronger technical advice and stronger resources for the implementation.
Our Mozambican rangers are incredibly good in the bush. Our recent employment of 29 additional staff has revealed some really excellent staff coming through. We employed in the surrounding villages as well as internally. Tracking is something that's in their blood, and with a bit of extra training they become absolute expert. They know the field very well, being in the rural area, and are geared for success.
I work in the Limpopo National Park for 15 years. Since the beginning until now, I see a change because I have now more results. This base 4B, it helped me too much. When we get a contact with poachers, we can call a helicopter to come and help us. Within 10 minutes, helicopter is there and can do a procedure, and all us in underground, and we can catch easy poachers.
What is exciting about Limpopo National Park is that it's part of a much bigger vision that incorporates Gonarizor, Kruger National Park from Zimbabwe and South Africa, and a much broader vision expanding eastwards, even linking Banin National Park and Zinav through corridors initially and later expanding from those. Conservation needs space. I mean, we've got megafauna, the elephants that roam vast distances, nomadic species that cannot be contained in small reserves. If you've got more natural systems running like this from a conservation and ecological perspective, landscapes such as these are incredibly important and very exciting to work for. It's a much bigger vision than just an individual national park in a particular country, but joining efforts in making something bigger and much better. But we need to be realistic that these need to be always justified in other terms also. And what does it mean at the end of the day for the local population? Is it a better land use than what was previously done? We're absolutely convinced it is. We see the livelihood improvements of people in the area where there's investment in agriculture. not having to depend on rainfall, but being able to draw from the water sources available to grow crops throughout the year. That's just one example. And then of course the employment. Tourism employs a great many people, average 3 staff members per bed. So it provides these other opportunities which just broadens the economic base for the region.
The government of Mozambique also prioritizes the transparent conservation of natural resources as one of the pillars that needs to be looked at. And Mozambique has been creating a number of protected areas and conservation areas, and now we have almost 1/4 of the country as protected and conservation areas, which makes very important features of the country. We see the protected areas to be areas where in future people go for leisure, rest, but also there will be opportunity to interact with wildlife, to interact with intact forests, wildness and so forth. And also see communities benefit in 10-15 years once everything has been well established. I would like to see Limpopo serving the nation and also the humanity by keeping an integral ecosystem.